Hello everyone. My name is Pooja Pandey. I am the assistant professor in the MCA department in AKG College, and today I am going to take a topic from my subject, that is data structure and the analysis of the algorithm. Um, Subject code is KCA 205 and it is from the chapter 5, or you can say unit 5, that is a Dijkstra algorithm. The topics what I am going to cover is its introduction, that is shortest path algorithm, what is shortest path algorithm, then what are its applications, then types of the shortest path problem, then Dijkstra algorithm, that is a main part of my lecture, then what are its conditions, then algorithm, principles, implementation with the help of the example, its advantage and the disadvantage. Now, introduction. In the data structure, we see that the shortest path problem is finding the shortest path between the vertices of a given graph, right? Now, what is the shortest path? Means shortest path is between the two vertices is a path that has a least cost as compared to all other existing path. Now, shortest path algorithm are the family of algorithm used for solving the shortest path problem. I can say an example that, for example, if we see this one, these nodes are there, we are connected to like this, right? So, if this is a source node and this is a destination, then what will be the shortest path? And it depends upon the weight, or you can say the cost, or here the costs are given, or you can say the distance is given. So we have to find out what is the distance between these two vertices, what is the minimum distance between these two vertices. So we have to find all these things, and this can be found out with the help of the shortest path algorithm. But there are many shortest path algorithms. We can say that shortest path algorithm is, if we see that I am going to explain in the another slide, that types of the shortest path and all these things, what are the application of the shortest path is, if you see, the shortest path algorithm is widely used in the our Google Maps or the road map. We use Google Maps. Suppose if we want to go from our home to from our city to some other city, or some other destination, then we have to find out then how we are going to find out the minimum path. The Google Map use all these things, these shortest path algorithm in it, that how our distance is covered. For example, in Google Maps, see, this is a place and this is a destination and we want to reach here. But if you see this Google Map, there are the two paths, one path is this one and second path is this one. So how they are measuring that which one is the shortest path? This path is taking the, I think this path is taking the 47 minutes, and roundabout this path is taking the 54 minutes. This one is taking the 54 and this is taking the 47 minutes. So Google always help us to find out the shortest path that when we are starting our journey. Okay, so it is taking the 47 and it is taking the 54. So which will we select? We are going to the obviously we are going towards we are choosing the shortest path, that is a 47 minutes. So this is a application of, you can say, a shortest path algorithm, and that what we are going to study in our further slides, that how we are calculating the shortest path. Again, you can take the example in the road network. Again, you can take the example of the road map within the city. When we are going to travel from one place to the another, again our road networks, or you can say that is your Google, you say when we are traveling towards the Google Map, right? Not Google Map, that is road map. With the help of the mobile, when we travel, we always take our destination, we write our home address, then our destination and which path it is traveling, and we can track with side by side that this is our vehicle is going this way. So again, this is a application of your shortest path algorithm, right? Now, there are, you can say, the 4 types of the shortest path algorithm. The first one is your single pair shortest path problem. Second is single source shortest path problem. Third is single destination path, and the fourth is your all pair shortest path problem. Right? These are the 4 types of the path problem, but we are going to discuss only one of these problems. Now, single pair shortest problem. It is a shortest path problem where the shortest path between a given pair of vertices is computed. Right? Now, single source shortest path problem is this, that we have got the one source and we have to find out what is the shortest way to find out all the remaining vertices, that is to all other remaining vertices is computed. That is your Dijkstra algorithm and the Bellman-Ford algorithm are the famous one of the single source shortest path, and we are going to study in this lecture this one, Dijkstra algorithm. Right? Now, single destination shortest path. Single destination shortest path is that it is a shortest path from all the vertices to a single destination vertex is computed. That is from all the vertex. Maximum vertices we are taking the all vertices and we are finding out the single destination, and this is calculated by single destination shortest path. Right? Now, by reversing the direction of each edge in the graph, this problem reduces to the single source shortest path. Dijkstra is one of the famous algorithm for solving the single destination shortest path problem, but we are not going to solve Dijkstra by this. We are going to solve Dijkstra by this single source shortest path. Right? Now, all pair shortest path algorithm. All pair shortest path algorithm is that where the shortest path between the every pair of vertices is compared. Right? We are taking the edges and we are finding out that how many path or how many minimum amount of time we can take. So, 2 algorithm are there for the all pair shortest path problem, that is your Floyd-Warshall algorithm and Johnson algorithm. This is Floyd-Warshall algorithm and the Johnson's algorithm. Right? Now, we are coming on the main topic, that is your Dijkstra algorithm. That what my lecture is on, this Dijkstra algorithm. What is Dijkstra algorithm if I say? Dijkstra algorithm is a very famous greedy algorithm. Greedy algorithm, right? If we are talking about the greedy algorithm, the main work of the greedy algorithm is to find the minimum optimal solution for the algorithm, right? That is a greedy algorithm, and it is used for this Dijkstra says it is a greedy algorithm, so that's why here we are using it for the single source shortest path problem, right? In this Dijkstra algorithm, we compute the shortest path from one particular source node to all other remaining nodes of the graph, if you say. It means that if I say that let me explain in the other slide. What are the conditions? That thing is I am going to explain it with the another slide how I am going to solve it, right? So what are the important part or what are the important conditions when we are working on the Dijkstra algorithm? First and more thing is that the Dijkstra algorithm works only for the connected graphs. Remember that the Dijkstra algorithm works only for the connected graph. This is a connected graph, so it is working on this. Okay, it may be directed graph or it may be undirected graph. Okay, and one more thing we have to complete, that it does not contain any negative weight edges. That is, this what we are writing here, it should not be a negative edge. Otherwise, we cannot solve it by the Dijkstra algorithm, that is solved by the another algorithm. Okay. Now, making, you can say that by making the minor modification in the actual algorithm, we can say that the shortest path can be easily obtained. And again, the Dijkstra works for the directed as well as the undirected graphs, right? Now, before solving the problem, we should understand the algorithm for the Dijkstra. Then what is the Dijkstra of the algorithm? Again, mark the source node with the current distance of 0 and rest with infinity. It means that when we are taking our Dijkstra algorithm in any graph, it should be like that. If you say, then we are taking it as a source and all the other nodes or other vertices are marked as a infinity, right? And these nodes are set to be set as a non-visited node. It means that we have not started our journey, or we have not started, or we have not visited that node, right? Now, when we are coming to this, for each neighbor, what we are taking? We are taking this one, this weight, and we are adding it, okay? And if it is less than the weight of this current vertices, then it is updated to this one, and this is cancelled, right? And we will mark that we have visited to this current one node. And then again we will repeat to the step. After this, we will again repeat to the step, this one, that again we will start our journey to the unvisited node, right? But again, one more thing is to be discussed before that principle of the Dijkstra algorithm, or you can say age relaxation method. This is also called as your age relaxation method, right? When we are talking about, if you see, when we are talking about this, let us suppose this is 0, this is 5, this is infinity, 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 right? How this is working? We are assuming it as a U vertex, right? And this one as a V vertex. The next vertex which we are going to visit should be a V vertex. It says that this age relaxation method or principle says that if distance of U vertex plus length of UV, U vertex, this is the length you say, is less than distance of V, that is infinity, okay? Then what will we do? We will swap the values. Distance of V will become that. So it means that 0 plus 5 less than infinity, then 5 is less than infinity. So our distance of V is equals to 5, right? So our visited node is, here is 5, clear? And by default, the source node immediate, if you say this is a 5 and all this will remain as a infinite, right? And step by step we will move, we will visit to the other vertices and we will find the shortest path for this problem. Now, let us now understand the implementation of the algorithm with the help of an example. If I say, right, I have taken a graph like this and this is a, you say that this is a I say this is a directed graph. Why directed graph? Because each node, right? Each node A is directed towards C and A is directed towards the B. Now, if you remember the algorithm, what I am going to take? According to the algorithm, our source vertex should be 0. Sorry. It is 0. Okay. And other vertices should be, if I say, I marked it as a infinity. It means that I don't know at the B point what is the value. At the B vertex, what is the value? Then how we are going to calculate, if you remember that? Distance, and this vertex is, you say U, okay, and this is V. Clear? This vertex is V, if I am saying, right? Now, what I am going to take is this. For solving, we are going to make a table, or you can say a matrix, where we are going to write all the vertices D and here I am going to write visited vertices, right? Now, according to the Dijkstra problem, what we are going to see that, if you see that A is 0, right? Our source, this is our source vertex. If you see, this is our source vertex, right? And what is our source vertex? We can take anything, but here I am taking A vertex as our source vertex. Clear? So, I am taking, let's start our journey, A. And what is the distance of the A? It is 0. So, here I am writing 0, right? Clear? Now, if I see that, now A, if nearby vertices I am seeing that A is visited to, you say that B, and A is visited to C, right? If A is visited to B, what is the distance between to A to B? We will write here 10, right? If you see in the diagram, the weight distance between to A to C is 5. So, I am going to write the 5 here, right? Now, if you see from A to D, and A to D, it's not a direct node that is connected towards to the A vertices, right? And we don't know what is the distance. What is a distance? It is not mentioned. Why? Because if you see, B has got the infinity and C has got the infinity. We are knowing this distance. We are not knowing the distance of B. We are knowing the distance between the A vertex and the B vertex. Keep in mind that this is a distance between the A and B. It is not the value of B vertex. We have to find the value of each and every vertex. Then only we are going to calculate the shortest path. Now, A to D is infinity. A to E is infinity, right? Now, what we are going to do here, I am going to see that, because now what I am going to do, now I am going to find the minimum value in this table which has got, because that the vertex who has got the minimum value will be our source vertex for the further program, you can say, or the further destination, or further finding out the what distance between the other vertices, right? So A to, because if you see in the diagram, again I am saying that because if you see in the diagram, that is A to B and A to C, then how you are going to find out that we have to take the B vertex or the C vertex? So that is a matter. According to this, we are finding out the minimum value, and the vertex who has got the minimum value, for that only we are going to find out that will be our source vertex for the next. See, this should be infinity, right? And this should be also infinity, because I missed the one step, so I am writing it again. From A to B, it is infinity. From A to C, it is an infinity. And we are starting the vertices from A, so it is 0. That will be same. Now, when we are visiting the A, it will come to the our second part, that is, this is a minimum. Now, if you are saying that this will be the minimum, that is 0, okay, this will be your minimum part. And then again, if I am going to take it as A to B or A to C, if you say A to B will be now 10, A to C will be 5, A to D will be infinity, and A to E will be infinity. Now, this one is the right procedure. Earlier, that was something gone wrong, right? If here I am saying that A I have already visited, keep in mind that A I have already visited, so we are not going to visit that because that is a minimum value. Now, 0 is a minimum value, so we are not going to visit it. Clear? Now, I am taking it now the source node as a C. Why? C has got the minimum value. So, here it will be a C, right? Now, what I am going to see? C is visiting to B, C is going to visit to D, then C is visiting to E, right? One more thing you have to keep in mind, that now our A to B, the value is now 10, right? And A to C, the C vertex has got the value of 5. This infinity has been cancelled. Okay, now the current value of the vertices of these two vertices are 10 and 5. Now I have to calculate the address, that is your C to B, the weight or the distance of the C to B. How you are going to calculate? Already the C has got the 5. Now 5 plus 3 is 8, and 8 is less than 10. So we are updating the distances. We are updating the distance 8. Clear? Again, so here the distance will be 8. Now, if I am going to calculate, that is C to D. C to D is, again it is 5. 5 plus 9, if you see, what is the 5 plus 9? If we will see that, it is a 14. And this I am not going to take. Why? Because now it is a visited vertex. C is a visited vertex, so we are not going to find C to C. Clear? So C to D is 14, and C to E will be, here it is 5. 5 plus 2, it will be, I am just directing it, it will be 7. Okay. Now, which one is minimum? Your minimum is 7. So, I have taken E. Again, if we have, I am starting from the E. Keep in mind that if I am starting from the E, you say E is visiting to D, E is visiting to A. But I am not going to take the path E to A because A is already visited. A is already visited. So, I am not taking it A. So, we are cancelling it. Okay. So, what I am going to take? E to B, there is no path. no graph, no arrow is going on. So we will take the value as it is, similar value. Then E to D is, what will be the E to D? Here till A it is 7 and this distance is 6. So 7 plus 6 is 13. So we are updating the value of D to, it is 13. Now which one is minimum? Our 8. Okay. So now what I am going to take, this one is B. Right? B, because B is minimum. Now we are not going to take the A, C, E, B. Okay. Now what I am going to say that A is B is minimum. Okay. So now what we will see that, how we will see that, B to, if I am going to say B to D, B to D is, already it is 8, C to B already it is 8 and B to D is 8 plus 1, then what will be here, the value will be 9. So if you see that this is a final value 9. If I am saying that shortest, so what will be the shortest path? If you see according to the diagram, our shortest path will be A, C, okay, A, C, C to B, B to D. So shortest path will be A to D, that will be a 9 and it is calculated. So this is a way to calculate or implement our algorithm. We are making it as a source as 0 and all the vertices as infinity. Then we are step by step we are moving forward. The vertices which we have visited, we are not taking it, we are not considering it, and then we are moving towards the further for the current vertices. We are making the changes, whatever the distance has been modified, we are modifying it, and our minimum path has been selected. So A to D is a minimum path, or you can say minimum time it is taking, right? Now if I am talking about the advantages of the Dijkstra algorithm, the Dijkstra algorithm guarantees that the shortest path from the source vertex to all other vertex when the graph has non-negative edge weight. Okay, it guarantees, since it is a greedy algorithm or it supports the greedy algorithm, so we are able to find out the optimal solution. And again, if I am discussing that what are the disadvantages, the first most disadvantages of the Dijkstra algorithm is it is unable to handle the negative weights. For example, if our weights are, we are writing here the positive, or if you have seen in the previous diagram, if I am writing here negative weight, you say this negative weight, it is unable to handle. Dijkstra cannot handle this. You can say this type of problem. This is solved by the Bellman-Ford, you can say. We go to the Bellman-Ford algorithm. This is solved by the Bellman algorithm, but Dijkstra is only applicable when our distance is in the positive mode. So, thank you all.